Hello guys, my name is Tao, or Chao, how most English-speaking people know me. You might know me for winning contenders multiple times, having good placements in European contenders. Maybe you know me for being a coach for British Hurricane in 2021, or for coaching teams like Raspberry Racers or Zero One Esports recently in Overwatch 2. I recently started making a lot of different videos on YouTube, not mostly, but only in Russian language. Some of them are guides on more simple stuff like kill boxes or line of sight. Some of them are more complicated guides as for strategic positions on the maps and general strategy. There are also videos that I make, a lot of them recently, regarding OWL, where I'm looking into interesting moments of OWL matches on different maps. And today I decided to try to make a video in English language and see whether or not it will be interesting for the English audience, which is of course English-speaking audience, which is of course a bigger audience than the Russian-speaking one. I'm gonna make this one, the video that I just made in Russian, I'm just gonna repeat it in English language, and then I'm gonna make one more in English after that, which is gonna be Defiant versus NeoXL Lijiang Tower that I discussed previously on this channel in Russian language. And I'm gonna see whether or not you like it, whether or not there are people that will be enjoying this content, and if there are people like that, then I'm gonna be making videos in Russian and then in English every time. We'll see how it goes about that, but anyway, let's dive in. So the interesting part about this is that this composition matchup is not a usual one in OWL. It's not usually played. You know, there are a lot of Winstons, there are a lot of Rush comps, but Ilios is the kind of map where you want to run the D.Va. And on this stage in particular, and you want to run the Echo. The reason to run the Echo over something like Sombra, which is Atlanta, Rain runs a lot, is because there are a lot of little high grounds on this map, which you can abuse to stay away from the Sombra. That can be abused by both Echo and Tracer, because you know a lot from the videos, if you watch my videos in Russian language for some reason, or maybe you just know it. In the composition of the Tracer Sombra, a lot of the time the dive will not be going on the backline right off the bat, because unless you land a nade on an unknown brig, it will be very hard to land a kill on the backline. A lot of the times it will be a separated character like a Tracer, like a Winston, like a D.Va that is getting hit first by the Sombra to get them out of position, and then move your backline closer so they are able to connect on the enemy backline, or at least connect with a nade, and then you can land a dive on them. Either way, these high grounds allow for Echo and Tracer to stay out of reach of Sombra, who will have a lot of issues trying to get to these high grounds and trying to stay on them especially. More than that, there are a lot of different corners, which of course you can find on different maps, but on this map in particular, there are a lot of corners, a lot of walls, a lot of pillars. For example, inside the cage, this is called cage, this is called mill. A lot of corners, a lot of pillars, which you can hide behind to break the hack, and the hack's not gonna work. The Sombra can be forced out and will be out of the fight for quite a bit. More than that, because of this, landing a dive on this map is hard. Yes, people try to play Winston a lot here, but most of the time you want to play the D.Va for the fact that she can stay on point for a bit more. This is more of a front to back. The people who are playing it slower can win a lot of the time because of this. It's very hard to land an aid. Backline can always just hide around, and you will see that. Either way, this is, in my opinion, why this is the composition that a lot of people are playing in contenders and in OWL on this map. Alright, now the interesting part about this matchup is that we are looking at Dreamers. Well, so Dreamers versus Charge, right? Like I was talking about the composition, now let's talk a bit about the Dreamers versus Charge. Of course, you probably watched the match. Dreamers won against Charge. This is a miracle round by a contenders team against the top one seeded after the regular season, like not the regular season, but the regular part of the season. Charge, Guangzhou Charge, the top one East team. And they won that match, and they won this map, but we're gonna see why. So, I'm sorry for spoilers, but I guess I'm in this for 3 days that the match been played. I reckon you already saw it, or at least you know the results. So, anyway, There is obviously a difference in the positioning between these two teams right now. So the main difference, and what's important to understand here, is that the Echo of Spectra is going above the cage right now, while the Echo of Choi is going above the mill. So what's the difference? The difference that the top of the mill is usually the point of contest for the Tracer and, in this case, Brigitte. Both Brigittes will go above the mill to help their Tracers to also have line of sight on their Echo. One of them is gonna have a line of sight on the Echo here, another one is gonna have a line of sight on the Echo above the brig. And the most important part to realize is that Anna actually wants to start on this high ground. This is the usual high ground that the Anna wants to start on. It's the safest one. You can land nades from there to both mains, to the cage in case the enemy backline drops first, and it's very hard to dive you. Spectra here actually applies pressure to this position of the Anna, while Choi doesn't apply that much pressure to this position. But what he does instead is he applies pressure to the mill position, and that is why the mill of Dreamers will have to walk back, while Faraway position will have to walk towards main. And then what's gonna happen is that Charge are gonna land on this part of the map, while Dreamers are gonna land on this part of the map. And it's not like one is better than the other, at least in my eyes. But what's important is that while pushing through this, the enemy Tracer, because it was a Tracer versus Tracer matchup, the Tracer of Jimmy is actually able to go through, while the Tracer of Ijan, or Izihan, how he's called on the broadcast, and we're gonna call him that because I assume it's the right way to pronounce it, he's actually gonna walk back, and he will not be able to get any dives going because he has to get out first. So let's see how this plays out here. Spectre sees the break there. Donghu is alone right now on the right, and he's okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Tries to get a flail going, eats everything with a shield, which is perfect, and bashes out. Very great. At this point, you already see that Faraway actually got out because he was pressured by Spectra at that time, while the whole dive thing was happening on the Donghun. And now he tries to pressure him more, with Izian actually able to land the dive through the right side, and he's trying to land something on the Anna, but it's very hard because both Piggy and Xerneas are here, so landing any damage, landing a kill on the Anna will be impossible without a nade hit. Of course, the nade hit is something that is allowing these compositions to go aggressive, because usually when you're looking at this composition, this is something I forgot to talk about with you guys, but when you're looking at this composition, yes, we talked about why we play them, but how do you win on them? How do we win this mirror? Well, you win it by winning the Echo Duel, first of all. Second of all, you're not able to dive the Brig or Anna. It's very easy to understand that it's impossible to kill the Brig or Anna unless something happens, something extraordinary happens, and this extraordinary can be an ultimate, it can be a nade hit, it can be a right click hit. The right click hit from the stickiest hit, the right click of the Echo hit on the Brig or Anna can land a kill, but it's not very easy to land a kill like that for two reasons. First of all, even if you land a right click on Anna or Brig, there needs to be a follow-up damage to finish a character off, and for the Tracer or for the Diva to come close and land this damage will not be easy, because they are usually forced out in a duel with a Tracer or Diva on the opposite side, and that's why they can't come close until they damage their opposite character away from the position that keeps them away from the backline. So the right click is usually a no-no. It's impossible, and also it's very hard to hit, because if you are Spectra and you're trying to land the right click here while you're being contested by Choi, you're probably gonna die. It's not gonna be pretty. You're either gonna die or you're gonna lose a trade, and you don't want to lose a trade because you're gonna lose a position, and then the enemy has an easier time landing their abilities. Now for the nade, of course, if you are missing and you can land a nade on Anna or Brig, that means that the window in which you can actually go for a dive is bigger. It's 3.5 seconds in which you can land a kill on one of these characters, so your Diva can come close and then shift and then maybe get a kill. And if you don't land any of those, and you just go for the dive, Brig is always gonna heal Anna, and Anna is always gonna heal Brig. Matrixing this, most likely not gonna do much, because there's gonna be a Matrix from Piggy as well, and at one point they're gonna be able to heal each other. Well, of course, Xerneas can heal Faraway even through the Matrix, but Faraway is gonna be able to heal Xerneas either way. So that's why, in this composition, first you need to either get an ult going or win a trade somewhere, and only then you can land a dive. Or you can just land a nade. Or maybe something extraordinary is going to happen and you gonna land the kill either way. Maybe something lucky happens. But either way, it's very hard to land a dive without a Winston, without like stuff like that going. Right, so that is why both teams are not going for hard dives yet. But we will see Jimmy actually able to go past and go behind the backline. And he's trying to apply pressure here. He's alone, so he can't do much. And what's important here is you see that Spectra, this is the first duel, and Spectra won the duel. Choi is 1 HP right now. Spectra unable to finish Choi, and Choi on 1 HP goes behind missing, kills him with the right click, finishes Donghun, and only then dies. Choi made a miracle play with 1 HP after losing a duel to Spectra that won't charge this first fight right now. And this is very important because, as I said, because it's impossible to land a dive, this composition relies a lot on the Echo duel in the air. Whatever Echo can win a duel can get more space. With more space, you can land more damage on the enemy backline or more damage on the enemy diva. And if the diva goes back, then your diva can come closer, and then you can get your backline closer so that they can land a nade, or they can have a better position, maybe even further position from the enemy, so they can be more safe while your front line or the dive core goes closer to the enemy backline and able to land dives. Alright. So this is the retake from Dreamers, and this is interesting because, as I said, a lot of the times Anna actually wants to be on the left of here. There's a high ground there, right, that you want to be on, but she actually goes on top of the mill, and all of them, 5 of them, go on top of the mill, and this is very important. I've been talking about this in some of my videos, but whenever you are going on a retake, it's a very good idea to start as a 5. You don't really want to start flanking before you get the position for your backline, before you establish in the position somewhere. You want like some sort of a castle, like not really a castle. It doesn't have to be fortified, but it has to be a position in which your backline can play and they can be safe. After that, you can look to gain more space. And all 5 of them decide to go this side, and I think there are 2 reasons for that. First of all, I assume, and again, some of my assumptions might be incorrect. Some of the things I say might be incorrect. This is my opinion, okay? I am just saying my opinion. It is not 100% correct. In my opinion, one of the stretch reasons, we're just going on a stretch here, why they're going right side is because they know that the left side is easily diveable. Whenever they're going top left, they will have to drop to the cage, and there can be a setup in which if faraway Anna is top left as well, it's very easy to land a nade, or much easier, and they are gonna be under more pressure than they can apply from the left side. This is first, so they know that they can die here on the left. Second, going towards the mill side and clearing the mill side actually allows them to go on all the way around, getting all this space, and then getting some sort of like duels going on this side with the support of Brig and Anna. Easier to survive dives, easier to get to the enemy backline through this right side than the left side, because they will have all the high grounds, and it's also much safer to go through towards the enemy side as backline, right? And this is why they are going for this, I believe, at least. Of course, I'm not sure. And here, important part, Spectra looking for some damage on the Diva. Diva is in the middle of the map. Charge, by the way, are not holding it close. You see, like, they are letting... Yes, Misen takes some damage here from Echo. Yes, he has to use a nade defensively here. But Charge are not holding close. They're holding pretty far. They're holding pretty passively. Yes, they don't have ults to go in with, but, you know, easy hand because of this. Able to go backline right now from the faraway. But here, I'm gonna stop it one more time. Choi lost a duel to Spectra. 1v1, no ults. He just lost the second duel. Choi, so far, lost 2 duels, and the only reason why Charge is able to win this fight right now is because Jimmy actually lands a stick while Easyhan misses a stick. And that is why you see Donghon actually lands on the opposite side of his spawn right now. Like, both him and Anna, they try to go through the mill. As we discussed, it's a bit easier perhaps than going through the cage, but his Anna dies to a stick from the Jimmy 4v4, but Donghun is alone right now, and there is not much that saves him from the dive now, because there is no nade. Yes, there is Matrix, but it's not enough in this position. He tries to stay alive, a very cute position from him. I think he tried like his best here, absolutely well played, well tried, but at this point it's lost. Important part, Spectra still got the number of Choi. 2 duels so far he won, and that of course, doesn't matter, because both of the times Charge able to win the fight, but it's already ringing a bell. A little bit of a bell is rang there. And okay, so this position here, let's look again. The second retake of Dreamers on this point, and they are again going from the same side to the mill side. And this one is a little bit more interesting, because this time the defense of Charge, they want to meet them early. You see the position of Xerneas right now, right on top here. And they are trying to fight them early a little bit this time. And here is the interesting part. Anna, far away, immediate nano towards Choi. Choi looking to fight Spectra. At the same time, Piggy looking to dive Missing. And here is the catch, and why Dreamers play it, well, not perfectly, but they play it insanely well. I can't say perfectly because I haven't watched this from perspective of 5 individuals. I only watch it from this perspective of the camera. I'm unable to show you guys the OWL viewer. But anyway, this guy is being dove by the Diva, and this guy is being dove by the Nano Echo. And right now, Donghun has either to pack Missing or to pack the Spectra. This is kind of a double dive, which is like a usual stuff. A lot of the times it's gonna happen. And what happens is Missing actually leaves on 7 or 9 HP here, 39.9 at one point. But he has enough time to give Spectra Nano while he's being dove. And Donghun actually double packs or maybe even triple packs Missing. Missing goes inside and leaves the dive, while Spectra wins the duel, after which he goes with a good stick on the Brick shield. Brick has to walk back, Pig is out of position, into the beam, into the kill, into the one fight by Dreamers. This is beautiful, guys. Look at this one again. Choi goes first with a nano and still loses the duel. This is the third duel that he's losing this match so far. But Missing also lives, even though there's a matrix on his nade, and Piggy has to matrix on the nade, otherwise he has heals. That's why he doesn't land the finishing damage on the Missing. And when Jimmy comes, it doesn't matter anymore, because Donghun is able to double pack Missing. Missing goes inside the room, and it's almost impossible to kill him there with the Donghun anymore, because the Inspire works, packs work, there's a mini pack there. The nade didn't land from far away for the enemy backline to get killed. And perfect play by backline of Dreamers. Great play by Spectra. Insane. A really, really well played fight here by them. Alright, let's look a bit at their hold here. Okay, so Dreamers actually have an ult advantage right now. Not sort of, actually, like an actual ult advantage. They have 4 ults versus 2 ults of Charge. Charge have to retake this with the ults, but the Dreamers hold here is much more interesting than Charge, because they are holding close. This hold that they are doing has been done in Pro AM by Florida Mayhem, and then copied by a lot of European teams. I was one of the copycats of this. We played this on Ilios in the beginning of the round robin of contenders previous season with Raspberry Racers. And here, the interesting part is the reason why we'll hold close is there are only 2 chokes for the enemy backline to go through, either the top or the bottom. On the bottom, of course, it's easy to land a nade. I mean, from high ground to low ground, it's much easier to land a nade. You are way too open. The enemy echo can scout you going up. And here, it's also kind of easy to land a nade. It's a small choke. You can land, you can land a nade on the wall. You can land a nade on the floor. A lot of opportunities for landing an aid and going for an early dive on the enemy backline. That's the first thing. And the second thing is your backline is kind of safe. They have a safe high ground position. You are not giving this high ground to the enemy for free. You're not letting them pass to the mill for free. You're doing an early stuff with, if you start losing, if enemies press the ults, you can always go back and you can take the fight on the point. It's always a good idea to take such an early fight if it's such a good fight with only 2 chokes that you need to control. The catch here is usually actually players, this room here in which Donghun stays, right, close to it, usually there is also a control, some sort of control going of this room here that doesn't go for Dreamers in this position. If you notice, they actually don't control this room at all. All 5 of them right now are on the top left. And this is quite interesting. I'm not certain why they think it's a good idea. I think they are like okay with enemies taking this, because backline will not be able to take this, not will be able to go up the stairs, because they're gonna get needed from here to there. They're gonna get dove. And for the enemy frontline to get here, I think they're fine. Right now, Piggy's in this position. I think they're fine here, because Piggy is not really applying that much pressure to Missing or Donghung, right? They're not gonna get dove while Spectra is winning a duel against Choi somewhere else. The only problem here is that they are allowing, for allowing this, they are allowing Jimmy to go to the point, which he's gonna do in a sec here. You're gonna see how Jimmy's gonna go to the point. But it is actually good for Dreamers. I'm gonna explain why in a sec. So again, Spectra taking a duel with Choi taking a duel with Spectra. Here we're gonna pause. So right now, Jimmy's on point, trying to force the point, contesting the point, forcing Easy Han on himself. But Easy Han has actually line of sight from his break that is supporting him from this high ground, and Jimmy obviously doesn't have line of sight of any supports, so he will be losing this duel either way. There is absolutely no way that Jimmy can win this duel unless he does something spectacular, and for this Easy Han needs to make a mistake, of course. And obviously, not only the backline, but also the Choi or Piggy, they are not allowed to go on Easy Han right now or to help Jimmy, because of course they will be going like this, and that means that they're gonna be hit from the high ground. If Choi tries to do this, he loses to Spectre a fourth time, which he wants to of course not to happen, for this not to happen, right? So and Piggy same, he's gonna take a lot of damage trying to do this, and that is why Dreamers are completely fine right now. And what they do instead is whenever they see that they can get an engage going on the Piggy is way too close on the bridge, they are just going on the Piggy with the rally. They are using one ult and they are front to backing. They are not going way too far. They are not trying to do what Charge just did, trying to go for Ana, trying to go for Brig, killing them before anything else. This is just a straight up front to back fight. And in this fight, I'm gonna show it again. In this fight, they're just hitting whatever is in front of them. They're hitting the Diva, now they're hitting the Brig. Brig tries to go back, unable to go back. At this position, Xerneas dies, and far away makes a mistake. He nanos Piggy. I think he wanted to nano Xerneas so he stays alive, but he nanos Piggy. 4v5, right? But they have a Nano Diva, and Dreamers make a very strong move here. They go back. They realize, okay, there is a Nano Diva. We made our stuff, you know, we killed Brig. They cannot do anything to us. We have more people right now, but we will not fight them because they have an ult going, and we don't really want to press an ult in this position. We're completely fine. We already want to fight. So they are going back. They're going even more back to the more defensive positions. But Jimmy dies while trying to escape from the point, and that is why Dreamers are like, okay, the ult is done, the nano is done, let's take positions back. We have one more, we have Tracer, and they don't have Tracer. So they take the aggressive positions back, and this is really good by Dreamers, realizing when they are strong, front to back, and when they are able to go back to the position that they want. This is the second retake from Charge, and the second defense from Dreamers. Here you can see that actually Charge, even though far away made a mistake, Charge still have an ultimate advantage with the Piggy Diva, well, rather actually Xerneas Brig ult being the factor here. But it doesn't matter for Dreamers. What they want to do now is they still want to fight for these positions. And here they go for an early nano. The reason why they do this is because Choi was already like kind of in their space, in the space where they want to hit them. Right now he's like on the right, and when you see him shifting on the right, Spectre immediately nano me, goes for the Choi. Choi is forced to ult, still dies because Piggy is here. But because Piggy, oh sorry, not Piggy, Ligia is here. Because Ligia is here, Jimmy able to get a stick on the Donghun. Unlucky death from Spectre, 2 for 2, which is good for Charge here, because they of course break to the position, and this is the first nade that lands on the Missing. Immediate kill on the Xerneas, because there is one nade as well, but it's way too late. It's only Lich right now on point. He tries to ult, he tries to stay alive and ult, and it's pretty unlucky. He dies there to a nade, and he loses. But in this position, and you can see it actually in the faces of Dreamers here, whenever they are showing them, is that they are completely fine in this position. Yes, they lost the fight, but Guangzhou Charge not only used all of their ults to win this fight, but also, and Spectre still has his copy. He didn't use the copy, he only went in with the nano, and it was enough to kill the Choi, right? But also they went Sombra. So now, all Dreamers need to do is they need to follow the same plan they have been following so far, which is play slow, gain an advantage somehow with a front-to-back fight, and then push forward and get to the enemy backline, force into some kind of a brawly situation onto their side. It's much easier to do against Sombra, because once you force her out, she's out for quite a bit, right? Same for the Tracer, and these guys right now, not only do they not have ults, they have to go in. They have to land something, because if they are not landing a kill, if they're not getting a burst of value from Sombra early, it's gonna be much harder to win later. So in this position, Dreamers are fine, even though the point belongs to the charge and it's only 8% until the end. And you can see here, and so let me get my notes here. Right. Okay, so they are trying to go early. Right now, Faraway goes towards the right side because they ping the Anna of missing on the right, and they are trying to go. Piggy tries to go for a dive, but look, still. Hack landed, but Nade is not landed. He's not purple. Donghun is not purple. It will be impossible to kill him if he's not purple, because all this damage is gonna get matrixed. And your window of opportunity is not as big if you're not landing a nade. Hack is not enough. Huge pill. Missing even drops and goes towards the mill side. Obviously able to do that. Sombra is out. Tracer is low. And now, because Charge's backline tried to go towards the cage and land a nade, they are in a vulnerable position. Spectre is able to get here. There is no duel anymore. He's free. After Sombra is out, he's free to go wherever he wants. He's free to find this. He's like, okay, there's Anna here. There's Brick here. Guys, let's kill him. There's even a Diva close. You could choose to kill the Diva. But of course, he goes for Anna together with Liege. Lands a nade, lands a kill. And now, another important thing. While all this was happening, Missing and Donghun, they went towards Mill, and they fought 2v3, and they both stayed alive, while the backline of Charge fought 2v3, and they lost the fight. Well, of course Dreamers had an ult. Echo is much a better character for this. But I want to compliment the backline of Dreamers, because there were two fights, this one and the one where they were retaking with the Piggy diving in at the same time as Choi was diving towards the Spectra, where they are able to stay alive in a situation like this without much hustle. They're just able to stay alive, not getting even in a bad situation for themselves. And in this position, of course, they are 5v3. Donghun stays alive. He's being healed by Spectra. They're gonna win the fight. It's a 5v3. Missing even gets the nano. I don't think that if you're an Ana, you're gonna get a nano that many times in official games, in OWL matches. I think it's pretty fun. It's a pretty cute way to land a victory on this stage for Dreamers. And this is really nice by them. Honestly, this stage was really well played by them. And we're gonna take a look into the next stage. So this stage is usually played with Echo, Tracer, or Ashe. And by or, I mean it's either Ashe Echo, Echo Tracer, or Ashe Tracer. Of course, Echo Ashe is not that often played on this stage, but it's still something that is that people consider playing. And I'm gonna be drawing here a bit. I'm sorry, like Choi is obviously cute, but we're gonna draw a bit over him just to see how the point looks like here. Okay, with this high grounds here. The reason why we draw this is because the most common strategy for this point is to put a lot of players on this side of the map. So the Tracer usually goes on top of the point. Brick sometimes goes under the top of the point, or even to the top of the point if he can be there. Diva goes there. Sometimes Echo goes there. And all of this with only Anna being on top, supporting the point position, because fight is usually happening on point. Once you get control of the point here, and if you're controlling that part of the map, it's not very easy to land a dive on this high ground, because again, it's an inside high ground. You need to land a lot of damage in this composition, otherwise it's not gonna work. And then Anna can always drop to the palm position, which is under palm, and then go to pool, and then she will be fine. The point will be taken, and from the point you can also go towards the enemy palm or towards the enemy high ground if you're able to do that, or you will just be able to kill some people on point if some of them were going to her point. And this is why here it's actually important to see that there is again a difference in the position from Charge and Dreamers. Spectra is here. He's going towards the point. He's looking to help the point fight, while Choi is going above the cage. And of course, well, he's gonna go inside the cage, but of course, if you're on cage side, it's pretty obvious that you're looking for a dive on the high ground, right? And that is why here, let's look at this dive here. It's pretty interesting. So he goes for a right click early. He's going right now, and he goes for the shift. Right now, of course, you would like to have a right click. So this is kind of a little bit of a mistake by Choi. If he lands a right click right now on missing, missing could be dead because notice this. Biggie's going from this side, and Choi is going from this side. This is a setup play. The nade is not landed by Farway, but missing is still low HP. If there was a right click, maybe he's even dead. But Donghoon, back from the high ground, gets backs towards missing. Piggy was not able to eat the nade neither, so he stays alive well, and they deny this early aggression by the charge. The charge, because of this aggression, have to play towards cage side with the backline. This is Farway right now. They have to do this because their core, their Piggy, their Choi, they are on top of this. So if they try to go on the high grounds, they will be way too separated. The Dreamers will be able to find the dive right now because part of charge will be resetting on this here or like inside the cage. That is why the backline of charge is in the cage right now. And that means for Dreamers that they have control of the point side so they can cap the point first. And that is why they cap for point first. It's all good for them. The only problem, though, for them is that because the cage side is fully taken by charge, they are able, after the reset, to go for another dive towards missing, this time landing a nade, and this time missing has to even drop from the high ground in a bit because of how much pressure charge were applying towards the high ground. And of course, it's almost not seen here. This is the only good camera that we're gonna have. All this time they were being dove or they were being pressured, and that is why missing has to drop right now and has to play in this position. Yes, and Jimmy, by the way, didn't go for dives. Of course, he cannot go on the dives from the high ground, right? So that's why he was trying to play towards point with the brig, helping him with the packs, right? That was something Jimmy was doing. And because of this, because of the nades, because right now the Donghoon and Ligia also will be naded or were naded just now. Yes, they are naded. We're able to see it here, right? So they are losing trades because of this. They had to give position, and charge, the backline of charge was always safe here because Dreamers never were able to get towards enemy high ground or anywhere close to their backline because they had so much pressure going on their backline. And this is the first time where charge's early aggression actually lands them something in a couple of iterations of this aggression, couple of iterations of this fight. And still, Spectra able to not die to Choi in the duel. He still hasn't lost one. This time he dies though to unlucky drop, and they lose the fight. But either way, the interesting part here is that Charge were able to not lose characters or not lose too much space on their aggression, so they were able to not overcommit in these aggressions, which they had an issue doing before. Okay, so this is the retake from Dreamers. This time Spectra actually goes above the cage, as you can see. And the reason for this is quite obvious. You see where the pig is right now. They have to deal with him. They have to get him out first, get rid of these high grounds first, and only then can they proceed. You cannot go for the enemy backline if there are characters between you and the enemy backline, because you're gonna die. It's not gonna work. Right now, what Charge is looking, they are looking for an early aggression, landing an aid here, something like that. But Spectra gets some space, he gets an angle on this high ground. They're trying to get the Piggy out. Piggy is looking for a dive, and here there was a nade on missing, and he even landed a nade, but Piggy decided that it's way too far to dive. They are baiting him. Spectre is right above him. He's gonna beam him, so he doesn't go for it. Again, Nano Echo versus Nano Echo, and guess what? Spectre wins. Well, he doesn't kill him, but he wins, right? So this is interesting. And this time, this is the flip of the situation that happened in the first fight of this stage, where Charge were able to control all this area. Now, Dreamers are started from this area, and Easy Han, instead of going towards point like Jimmy did before, he actually goes through the cage while all this hustle on top was happening. The Choi is fighting Spectra, Piggy is trying to get out, like that, damaging Ligia at the same time. He goes behind and he lands into a good position where he can pressure far away on Anna, pressure Xerneas, gets a kill on far away even without a stick. 1 up right now, and the Choi also gets his ult out and killed from his ult. One up, Donghun goes on point with a Brig rally, and this is something that by default you want to do here. You want to land the Brig on point because Brig wants to be in a fight. She can't stay with Anna forever, because if she just stays with Anna, then the enemies can always do this, like soft dives get out, soft dives get out. You actually need to apply pressure on the point with Brig. And what's important here is we didn't get a very good camera on what was going on. We only had a glimpse of an idea of what Dreamers wanted to do with the easy hand going towards the backline of charge that was set up closer to the cage side, probably because of what happened in the first fight, because of their ideas of the first fight. But what happened is charge actually pressed 5 ults, while Dreamers only pressed Donghun ult to finish the fight, and then easy hand ult in the beginning of it. Well, there was also, I believe there was also a nano from missing, which was almost replenished back to the full. Right. And the advantage is heavily into Dreamer's hand. And again, even though charge have advantage in percentage, this is the second time in 2 stages where it doesn't feel like Dreamers are under any pressure. This is the retake of charge. Notice how Spectre right now in such an aggressive position with Liege and easy hand also set up close, with the backline supporting them with line of sight. Charge retaking everyone together from the top. Spectra able to land a lot of damage on that. Piggy is trying to get something going on the enemy backline with Jimmy, who also went from the different position. He actually didn't go from the top. He went from a different position, and right now he's trying to land some damage on Missing and Donghun. They are fighting 2v2. But at the same time, look at what Dreamers are doing on the front. They get a nano going on Spectra, who goes for Choi immediately. At the same time, notice how Liege is not actually committing towards the backline of charge. They are not trying to kill the Anna or Brig that much. You see, the Piggy was always trying to go way too aggressive. Dreamers are not going way too aggressive. They are fighting Choi. Spectra knows that he's stronger, right? So he goes for a duel here with a nano. That's why he's stronger. He goes for the Choi. At the same time, Liege is denying the backline from walking up, so he's kind of fighting them, but in a safe spot. And at the same time, Piggy and Jimmy are getting fought by 3 people of Dreamers. In every point here, they have advantage. The only advantage they don't have is Liege is weaker than Xerneas and far away, but it's enough to keep them in position, keep them in a far position. And that is also very interesting, right? They split the aggression. Jimmy dies while this is happening because he was on the weaker part of the map, and now they're able to land the dive on Xerneas because Choi is no longer able to protect his backline from the off-side position in which he was, because he lost the duel to Spectre, because Spectre had nano, because they had ultimate advantage. And right now they're going into the last fight, sort of, right? Piggy and Jimmy right now are going towards point, I believe. Right, so Pig is already on the point, Jimmy just respawned and he's going towards the point, and Spectra right now is on the point, and this is beautiful. This is why Spectra for sure is the is MVP of this map. This and because he won a lot of the duels with Trey. But look at this. So he is fighting Piggy. His position is known right now, and Jimmy goes behind him. He immediately shifts away. Right now, charge with 2 people on the point and 3 people regrouping from spawn. Their information is Spectra, the enemy Echo, is fighting us on point right now. Immediately, Spectra goes for an aggressive flank here, not giving any time for charge to react. Like, they don't know that he's going here. And this is a key mistake by Xerneas. His Anna right now, far away, is on top. And Xerneas drops to the bottom, leaving his Anna alone. They are not prepared for this dive right now. They think that Spectra is on point, actually, but he's not. He went for such a fast flank. And right now, Faraway is completely dead, because there is no support to him. Even with the right click missing, the nade lands on Faraway, the dive lands with Liege and Spectra, 5v4 without Anna. In the last fight, Xerneas on the way to the point dies as well, and this is a 5v3. At this point, it's impossible for Charge to play. They will not be able to regroup. This is not the last point. This is not well, where you are able to touch the point one by one for a very long time. And this point is actually very hard to touch, because point is such a far position from everywhere else. Yes, they get one touch, but the second touch is impossible to get without dying, and Piggy doesn't get it, and that's why Dreamers win the first match. With the first map, sorry. And they win the match in the end of it, but either way. I personally found this map pretty interesting. I think that Dreamers had a lot of about a better idea on how to play the composition. They were not doing way too many risky moves. They were always able to understand where they are stronger than their opponents. Their backline played really well in terms of surviving. Spectra played phenomenally in a duel against Choi. He never lost it, it felt like. He was always able to get that value going, and because of that, Dreamers were able to win this map. It was a very good map for them. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this. It's end up a 40-minute video on the one map. That's a lot. Well, if you're through this, let me know what you think about this. The next one I'll try to make a bit shorter without that big of introduction. I hope you have a nice day, guys, and I'll see you around, okay? All right, bye-bye.